A good friend is hard to find, but a true friend is even more difficult to lose. And then there are the friends that make you wonder how you even became close in the first place. Hi viewers, and welcome back to Bestie. Not all friendships are filled with the same depth and emotion. Some are just surface level and some toxic. But many of us put up with it because of the pain of letting go. The fact is, it's not normal. It's detrimental to your health and development as an individual. There are certain indicators that can help you identify such a friendship so that you can get out of it as soon as possible. In today's video, we'll tell you what the signs of a toxic friendship are. From making you feel insecure, not respecting your boundaries, pointing out your flaws, not being trustworthy to trying to change you and more. Watch till the end to learn about all of them. Number 1. They're jealous. Healthy competition between friends is normal and can even be positive. It can spur you to be your best self while examining where you can improve, but sometimes it can cross a line into jealousy. This may include behaviors like aggressive competition, one-upping, and excessive attempts at diminishing your accomplishments. Good friends are like cheerleaders. They root you on and take pride in your success. However, when jealousy interferes with a friend's ability to be supportive, it can have detrimental effects on the friendship. That's not to say that good friends won't have fleeting moments of jealousy. That's just life. But they work to contain those emotions and express them appropriately, rather than through veiled insults or overt competitiveness. Do you have competitive friends? Would you consider that competition as healthy or unhealthy? Do tell us down below in the comment section. Number 2. They make you feel insecure. If you're always walking away from your friend feeling down on yourself or having to talk yourself into why that person is your friend, well, they might not be right for you at this time. Listen to your gut and start taking small steps back, away from any scenarios that might connect you to. Which, of course, some friends are simply honest to a fault. This means you'll occasionally face negative reactions that are tough to stomach. Those same straightforward pals will also prove equally supportive and consistently build you up. Pay attention to internal cues. Tune into your body. Do you feel weighed down, drained, and unsure of yourself? Listening to our inner voice is the best place to start. Number 3. They are incapable of showing you tough love. The difference between toxic friends and good friends is like the difference between not brushing your teeth as self-care and forcing yourself to work out as self-care. One gives you a small luxury in the moment that you later regret, while the other actually helps you even if you resent it at the time. Good friends encourage you to be your best self, even when it isn't the obvious option. Toxic friends aren't invested in your continued well-being. Psychology research shows that good friends may choose to indulge a negative emotion in that person in the short term to help them accomplish goals. This is called tough love. Number 4. They pressure you to do things you don't want to do. When you're around them, they pressure you into doing things you aren't comfortable with and make you feel like a loser when you don't want to do them. It's good to be around people who encourage you to try new things, but it becomes toxic when they're forcing you to do things. You should be encouraged, but not forced to try new things and move out of your comfort zone. Being forced to do anything has dire consequences that makes relationships like this toxic. Number 5. They don't respect your boundaries. It can be hard to put your finger on this, especially if you're younger and still learning your own boundaries. Sometimes good friends will push on your decisions, too. To determine if your friends are toxic or if they're just encouraging you outside your comfort zone, try to think of the last 3 times you wanted to stick to the course of action and were turned away from it. Did you want an early night but ended up staying out? Did you enjoy a new cafe but got told it wasn't any good? Reflect on where you've strayed from your choices, but more importantly on the outcomes of these choices. Good friends know that encouraging you to try new things is not the same as violating boundaries. By examining the outcomes, you'll know whether your friends have your best interests at heart or not. Number 6. They are quick to point out your flaws. Honesty is important in any relationship, and friendships are no exception. However, it's when honesty becomes relentless criticism of everything you do that the relationship becomes toxic. You find yourself unable to talk to your friend because you're afraid that they'll point out everything you did wrong instead of offering you their support. Number 7. They keep score. In a toxic friendship, people hold grudges. Your friend will keep score of the number of times you've disappointed them and throw them all in your face when they do something to upset you. Rather than accepting responsibility and apologizing, they'll say, "Yeah, well, how about the time you did this?" Or, "You've done that to me before." In healthy relationships, you can be honest with each other about what offends or negatively affects you. You can address it before it turns into the game of tit for tat. You can't use past wrongdoings in order to try and justify current righteousness. It doesn't work that way. Number 8. Everything is about them. A toxic friend will never really listen to you. They will always be waiting for their turn to speak or to turn the conversation back to them. In a novel conversation between people, you can say "this thing happened to me too," which is okay because that's where empathy happens and you form a connection. But then with a toxic person, everything revolves around them. They'll twist it. A good way to test for this is by bringing up random topics that have nothing to do with either of you. A toxic friend will have the uncanny ability to manipulate the conversation back around to them, whatever the topic, without skipping a beat. Number 9. They don't care enough to keep in touch. Life is complicated. It's important to understand that sometimes people can't always call or talk to you, but they are thinking of you. However, relationships get toxic when the other person isn't thinking of you and makes no attempt to keep in contact. You find yourself being the only one reaching out while they seem uninterested in maintaining the relationship. This is toxic because to have a healthy life, you should engage in mutually fulfilling relationships with people who care about you as much as you care about them. Number 10. You no longer trust them. Friendships are built on trust. After all, if you can't rely on your BFF, what's the point in having one? If you don't trust that they have your best interests in mind, that's often a sign that something's not working. For example, a toxic friend might say they'll pick you up at the airport and then back out at the last minute. Sometimes people have to break promises for a legit reason, and that's totally fair. But if you constantly feel let down by them, it's going to be hard for you to have that level of affection for them that could truly keep a good friendship going. Apart from being untrustworthy, toxic friends are usually jealous people. They may not show it, but you can find out by recognizing certain signs. To know what they are, watch this video titled 8 Signs of Jealousy and Envy That You Should Know. Now back to signs of toxic friendship. Number 11. They make you feel nervous. No one is entirely predictable, but it's reasonable to expect someone you trust to mostly express their emotions in safe, healthy ways. Unpredictability alone doesn't necessarily indicate someone is toxic, but when the relationships could harm or feel abusive, it's wise to proceed with caution. Maybe they get extremely irritated and shout at you over tiny things, like forgetting to turn off the TV or not returning a jacket they lent you. Then, the next minute they act as if nothing happened. If you never know how they'll react, you might have a hard time feeling comfortable around them. Number 12. They try to change you. Someone who tries to change things about you may not be an ideal friend. A true friend understands that people have different personalities, and they'll accept you for yourself. If you ask for guidance on something you'd like to change, they might provide support and encouragement, but they'll probably wait for you to ask instead of telling you what to do. Say you struggle in social settings and want to get better at meeting new people. A good friend might suggest you come to their next game night so that they can introduce you to a few other friends in a comfortable environment. Number 13. They always seem to be focusing on the negative side of things. Friends share the ups and downs of their lives with each other. However, friends who are toxic tend to always talk about how everything is bad without seeing any of the good. They tend to ignore all the good, which makes you ignore it as well, bringing your mood and motivation down. It's important to help them out with their problems, but also make sure it doesn't affect you negatively. By recognizing these signs, you'll definitely be able to identify a toxic friend and take the desired steps. But what about toxicity in other relationships, like with family and a partner? Yes, there are signs there as well. You can know more about these by learning about when to cut toxic family members from your life, or understanding the signs your man doesn't love you anymore. These 2 videos will definitely help you better understand when a relationship has become toxic. Have you ever had a toxic friend? How did you deal with it? Let us know in the comment section below.